Welcome into the Flippin' Hippos reseller channel. I'm Star. If you're new here, you haven't already, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It does help us feed our hungry hippos. Today is Tuesday, April 15th. It is tax day. Make sure you get your taxes filed on time by midnight tonight or file an extension. And we are doing what sold on eBay today, a day late, because Keith and I were working on our taxes yesterday. If you're new to the channel, I do these weekly what sold videos every week, typically on Mondays. Sometimes due to life circumstances or federal holidays, they come out on Tuesdays, like today. We're looking at the week of April 7th through April 13th. And I've pulled out some highlights I want to talk about with you. I haven't pulled up all of our sales, but I did pull up all of the plush sales. I do that every week. I pull up all of the plush, whether it's 1 or 20, because I like talking about plush. And then we'll look at some other items that sold. Let's start with the plush, shall we? We have a vintage Dakin Pegasus. Vintage tags typically look like one long tag that was folded in half and then attached to the plush, rather than front and back, how newer tags are printed. See how it looks like it's just one long piece and then it's folded and attached. Also, it says 1980. I don't like to put the exact year in the title. You may have heard me say this before, because that's very specific. Most buyers are looking for 80s or 90s, generally not to a specific year, unless they're looking for this specific plush. But then they would have enough other information that they're entering into the search that they'll pull you up if you have a great title. But generally speaking, most buyers are looking for plush from the 80s, and then this will pop up. And then you can put your exact year into the description down here. Dakin is a good brand for vintage. It's R Dakin, so you could put R Dakin in the title if you want to be more specific. I just do R Dakin in the brand item specifics and Dakin in the title. I would put the R if I had room, but there were other more important keywords I wanted to put in here. Remember, you only get 80 characters and your title is very valuable real estate. The Pegasus sold for $19.99 plus $5.50 shipping. Next, we have what I so lovingly love to call the poop plush. I get lots of, I shouldn't say I get lots, but I get a good amount of poop plush over time when I buy my bulk buys or the huge lots of plush. I always set the poop aside and prioritize the better plush. I have a box in my office. When it fills up with poops, I'll just take a day to photograph them, and eventually they'll get listed. They're never a priority. Other things will always be prioritized over them, but I do list them and sell them so that I get every penny out of my bulk buys. Now, the next thing I'm going to say doesn't just apply to plush. Folks, right now, in this economy, do not have a lot of discretionary money to spend. I want to have items that are available for all people of all economic situations. So if I have some of my clothing that's, $100, $40, $50, I want to have $20 jeans. I want to have plush that's expensive. Yes, I want to hit those people with the discretionary funds, or the people that are irresponsible and spend their money or their tax returns. That's fine too. But I like to have a wide variety of price points and items so that I'm casting a bigger net. And folks who have less discretionary funds will still shop from my store. I also don't like to buy a huge box of stuff and not list everything I can. Obviously, if things are damaged, stained, dirty, torn, ripped, I'm going to either throw them away or redonate them if I can't list them. But I try to get every penny I can out of my wholesale purchases, photographing and listing items. I'm really fast at that, so it's not a waste of time for me. I do use List Perfectly's AI, which enables me to be super fast, but I've never seen it as a waste of time, especially if you're prioritizing. I mean, you can save all of the poop in a box, and there could come a day where one of your sources that you buy your wholesale from or your thrift stores you went to over the weekend didn't really have a lot of great stuff and you're hard up for inventory, you could list them. Toys R Us exclusive Jeffrey teddy bear. This dude is really cute. He's like fluffy. He's got like that curly fur. He sold for $20.78 plus 13. Toys R Us, something you want to look for. The stores have gone out of business. So if you find the plush and you can sell them online, that's where people are shopping for these. We have another vintage Dakin. See, the tag looks exactly the same. This one is from the 70s. And this is a unicorn. The unicorn comped way lower than the Pegasus. The Pegasus is, a whole decade older. No, younger, sorry. The unicorn's older, so he should have actually comped for more. But you just never know with these things. Sometimes it just depends on the animal. But the unicorn did sell for $10.58 plus $5.50 shipping. And those were the 4 plush that we sold last week, which is good for this time of year. Easter is this weekend, so I don't expect to see any more Easter plush selling this week. Our plush sales usually dwindle down as we get closer to Easter. They'll pick back up again towards the summer and stuff, but 4 for a week before Easter in April is good. We got 7 for All Mankind jeans here. I just want to talk about these very briefly. 7 for All Mankind makes the Dojo jeans. If you've never heard of them, on the inside, right here where this says the ankle skinny, they'll say Dojo, D-O-J-O. They'll have 7s on the back pocket. And those are a definite bolo. The last pair I sold was a couple months ago, so the prices could have changed because turds love to race to the bottom. But the last pair I sold for like 80 on Poshmark. They still can probably go for about 60 to 80. So a lot of folks think the 7 for All Mankind jeans that aren't Dojo or any other line from this brand are not worth picking up. And I disagree. I think they're bread and butter. They are a solid brand. They're a well-known brand. They have devoted customers. They have a loyal customer base. And people shop for them all the time. You're not going to get huge amounts for the ankle skinny jeans like you would the Dojo, but you're still going to get solid amounts. These were 30% off, and I still got 16 plus 7 shipping. So that's a decent bread and butter for me. I'm going to show you some jewelry. We're going to talk about prices on the jewelry. When it comes to costume jewelry, I buy mine bulk for $6 a pound. And I try to price it higher than most people would price costume jewelry. Just because it's costume jewelry doesn't mean it's poop and you have to sell it at thrift store prices or less than thrift store prices nowadays, right? Because most thrift stores are kind of expensive. But you don't have to sell them for yard sale prices. Costume jewelry can still sell for a good bit, especially when it's unique, when it looks nice, when it has something desirable to it that buyers might want. I have a pricing sheet for costume jewelry that is free, available in my description box down below if you want it. I did do a lot of research with myself and other resellers to come up with those base prices, and I have a video explaining it. I'll have that pop up at the end as well if you want to familiarize yourself. Most people immediately think that all costume jewelry has to be priced like it's junk, and it does not. And this is why I like to show you my jewelry each week. This is a resin flower on a stretchy band, and it sold for 10 plus 5 shipping. I have seen folks list similar rings for $3 plus shipping or $8 free ship. It doesn't have to be that way. Gloria Vanderbilt is another brand that a lot of people will overlook. I'm here to tell you, as far as shorts, if you can find them for $2 or less, they're a definite grab if you sell bread and butter items. If you sell volume, if you like filler items in your store, Gloria Vanderbilt shorts, especially plus size, are going to do well. And then their jeans size 14 and up. But I wouldn't pay more than $2 because you're going to get like $20 to $25 for the jeans. And then like these shorts, I took a best offer of 10 plus the 7 shipping. So you're usually going to get like 17 to 20 on the shorts. Here's a Chico's multi-strand beaded necklace. I did take a best offer on this of $13.49 plus the 5 shipping. Pistola. This is a new to me brand. I had never really seen it nor paid attention to it. If I get, I guess, in the thrift stores. But a lot of times I get these new to me brands through my ThredUp boxes and I learn things. And what I've learned about these jeans is they're a definite pick them up if you find them. $27 plus 8 shipping. I mean, that is a good deal for me because I pay like $1 or $2 for my jeans. But even if you were paying $2 or $3, that's a good flip. So Pistola is a new brand for me to be on the lookout for, and I want to share it with you guys as well. And then I have a sterling silver green jade cabochon modernist ring. This is kind of cool. And you can see that I do close-ups of all sides and the back and the inside. I do have a ring sizer, so I put the size in here. I do size my rings. This sold for $19.99 plus 5 shipping. This is a wire-wrapped nugget pendant. It is turquoise. When I have turquoise items like this, I do like to use keywords like Southwest. And if it's fitting on how it looks Native American, you can use ethnic. This is a really pretty piece. And I got 20 plus 5 shipping. Just for the pendant alone. Not even on a chain or anything like that. This is a choker, but it winds up. I don't know if I got a picture. I did. So it coils. I said winds up, but the word I actually meant to use was coil. You see how it like wraps around itself into this coil, and then it stretches out to go around your neck, and it fits like a choker. It's really funny because Keith was home to do shipping with me yesterday because he took the day off to do taxes. And so he was handing me stuff. We had a really good weekend, by the way. Knock on wood that we have another one this coming weekend. But we had a very good, it's the best weekend we've had in a long time. We had a lot of shipping to do. And so he was helping me. And I asked him, hand me that necklace. And he's looking at the pile of jewelry that had sold. He's like, what? It said, I pointed to this. And he's like, if that's what you call it. And I said, it is. And I showed him how it stretches out. And he says, oh, it reminds me of those necklaces like the African women wear. And I said, yeah, you can use like African inspired as a keyword on jewelry like this. There's a drop down on the theme. When you list on eBay, you could choose ethnic. This one, I wanted to put bohemian, unique charms, glass beads, and boho. So I didn't really have room for the African inspired. And this doesn't have as much of an African inspired look as some of my other jewelry, but whatever floats your boat. Describe your stuff the way you see it, the way you think buyers are going to see it, and how they're looking for it. So this sold for $26.24 plus 5 shipping because it is such a unique piece with so many different pieces and charms. It's just really cool. I don't wear jewelry, and if I did, I would never wear something like this. It's just not my personality. But just to look at this and having taken the pictures and listing it, I liked it. I thought it was neat. And then we had a couple bulk orders of comics just like this. I do a coupon every week that runs from, I want to look at a plush while I talk at the end. I do a coupon that runs from Friday mornings through midnight Sunday that buyers can get 50% off 2 or more items, any items in our store. And almost every weekend, someone's taking advantage of it. They'll buy a couple pairs of jeans in the same size. They'll buy a couple of similar plush. Most commonly, I see them buying comic books. Some people have bought up to like 10 comic books out of a series. Some people buy jewelry. I like doing that deal on the weekends. It really helps us move a lot of inventory quick. And people are more likely to bundle comics because they're so lightweight. And especially, folks that actually read the comics that want the whole series. So I do like you doing that coupon. Okay, if I left anything out, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't forget to join my Facebook group too. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Hopefully I'll see you over there. And go be productive, guys. Go make some money. Make sure your taxes are done, or at least that you filed an extension. I don't want any of y'all going to jail for not filing your taxes. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.